There are moments when we feel different from the world around us, not because we are broken, but because our minds operate on a frequency most people never tune into. And often the signs of deep intelligence don't look impressive at first glance. They look strange, unusual, even misunderstood. But as the ancient thinkers warned us, what stands out in a chaotic world often carries more truth than what blends in. This is where our story begins. 1. The weird habit of detaching from what everyone else chases. There is a habit, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, that intelligent minds carry without announcing it. A habit that looks strange to outsiders, but internally it is a weapon sharper than any blade. The ability to detach from the things everyone else desperately chases. Most people grab at life with trembling hands. Status, attention, validation, constant stimulation. They cling to these things as if their identity would collapse without them. They cannot. Imagine stepping back from the noise because the noise is the only thing that makes them feel alive. But we walk differently. We have learned through pain and introspection that the world cannot be trusted with our peace. And so we rebuild that peace within ourselves. As Seneca warned, he who is everywhere is nowhere. The masses scatter themselves across every distraction to avoid confronting the hollowness inside. But the intelligent mind is not afraid of that confrontation. We turn away from the glitter of the world because we know how fragile it is. Praise is temporary. Popularity is fickle. Validation is borrowed and easily revoked. And a mind that depends on external applause will break the moment the applause stops. So we detach not out of arrogance, not out of indifference, but out of clarity. We know what we can control and what we cannot. We know that the mind becomes sharper when it is not chained to the judgments of others. We know that nothing enslaves a person faster than the fear of being disliked, ignored, or rejected. This detachment confuses people. They look at us and ask, "Why don't you care like everyone else? Why are you so calm? Why do certain things not bother you?" But they do not understand that this calm is not natural. It was built from evenings spent alone with our thoughts, built from the discipline of stepping away from distractions, built from the courage to be misunderstood, built from countless moments where we resisted the urge to seek external comfort when internal discomfort felt overwhelming. We learned to sit with our own mind without drowning in it. That is a rare skill, one most people never develop in their entire lifetime. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is the essence of our detachment. We do not run from reality. We strip it down to its bones and look at it without trembling. And in this clarity, something remarkable happens. We see what others cannot. We notice what is real and what is illusion. We understand that attention does not equal respect. Noise does not equal meaning. Popularity does not equal value. We see that emotional entanglement with every passing event only weakens our focus and drains our energy. So instead of attaching ourselves to everything, we attach ourselves to almost nothing. This is why intelligent people often look distant, why they appear withdrawn, uninterested, or too serious. But beneath that stillness lies a mind that refuses to be pulled like a puppet by impulses and social pressure. Our detachment is not escape, it is control. The control to not crumble when someone disapproves of us. The control to not chase illusions just because the world demands it. The control to move forward with purpose, not fear. The control to build a stable inner life that cannot be destroyed by external chaos. And here is the deeper truth. Detachment is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. Anyone can love. Anyone can desire. Anyone can cling. But only a disciplined mind can feel deeply without losing itself in the feeling. That is why detachment is the third sign of high intelligence, because it requires self-awareness, emotional discipline, and the courage to choose long-term clarity over short-term comfort. We detach not to escape the world, but to understand it. Not to avoid people, but to avoid losing ourselves among them. Not to appear strong, but to actually become strong. And in this strength, we find a rare kind of freedom. The freedom to act without fear. The freedom to think without noise. the freedom to exist without constantly needing to be seen. This is the quiet intelligence the world underestimates, and the world fears what it cannot understand. 2. The weird habit of questioning every emotion before acting. There is another habit, rare, unsettling, often misunderstood, that quietly reveals the presence of high intelligence. The habit of questioning every emotion before responding to it. Most people act first and think later. They explode, withdraw, panic, or react impulsively because their emotions command them like a ruler commands a servant. They never pause. They never investigate. They never ask themselves, is this emotion true or is it simply loud? But we are different. We know that an unexamined emotion is a storm waiting to destroy something precious. We know that reacting without reflection is the fastest way to sabotage our own peace. So we pause. We interrogate the feeling before it interrogates us. This habit looks strange from the outside. People misjudge it as coldness, detachment, or emotional distance. But underneath this calm lies the discipline that Epictetus described when he said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. We refuse to be complicit. When anger rises, we ask, is this anger just, or is it my ego seeking a battlefield? When fear whispers, we ask, is this danger real or merely imagined? When sadness appears, we ask, is this sorrow a message or a shadow? This inner examination is not weakness, it is strategy, because the truth is simple. Most people do not suffer from external events. They suffer from their interpretations of those events. And since interpretations can be questioned, they can be reshaped. This is why intelligent individuals often appear emotionally unshakable, not because they feel less, but because they analyze more. We have learned that emotions are data, not destiny, signals, not commands. They inform us, but they do not rule us. This is what Stoic researchers often refer to as cognitive spacing, the mental gap between stimulus and response. The wider that gap becomes, the more powerful the mind grows. And here is the part most people will never understand. This habit makes you appear unpredictable, not because you are unstable, but because you are not governed by impulses that others expect you to obey. The world anticipates immediate reactions, quick anger, quick judgments, quick emotional explosions. But we deny the world that satisfaction. We slow down, we examine, we question, and through questioning, we gain control. This is why intelligent people often feel older than their age, as if they carry a wisdom others have not yet earned. Because reflection accelerates maturity, because discipline sharpens perception, because emotional mastery creates an aura that others can feel even before we speak. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. This habit is the doorway to that strength." So yes, it is a strange habit. It is unusual. It is inconvenient. It even makes us feel isolated sometimes. But it is also one of the clearest signs of a mind that refuses to be conquered by chaos, because the person who questions their emotions is the person who eventually masters them. And the person who masters their emotions is the person the world can no longer manipulate. 3. The habit of disappearing to reset the mind. Another unusual habit that quietly reveals high intelligence is the tendency to disappear without warning, not out of avoidance, but out of strategy. Most people panic at silence. They cling to noise, distraction, and constant stimulation because they fear what their mind might reveal when everything becomes quiet. But we understand something they don't. A mind that is constantly surrounded becomes a mind that never sharpens. Seneca warned to be everywhere is to be nowhere. So the intelligent withdraw, not to escape life, but to return to it with clarity. This disappearance is not dramatic. It is subtle, intentional, and almost ritualistic. We step away from conversations, from social circles, from digital noise, and we retreat into the inner chamber where only truth exists. Because in silence, the mind reorganizes itself. It untangles emotions before they rot into confusion. It examines desires before they turn into obsessions. It studies wounds before they turn into bitterness. Most people collapse under their own inner chaos because they never stop long enough to understand it. We refuse that fate. To disappear is to reset. To reset is to return stronger. It is a form of mental hygiene that high-intelligence individuals practice. Naturally, even if they cannot explain why this habit makes others uncomfortable, they assume we are distant, uncaring, or cold. But the truth is simple. We withdraw so we can protect the quality of our thoughts. And a person who protects his thoughts protects his destiny. In silence, we regain the one thing the world constantly tries to steal from us, our inner command. And when we return not as we were, but as someone more focused, more armored, and far more difficult to manipulate. 4. The obsession with understanding before acting. One of the strangest habits of truly intelligent people is their insistence on understanding before action. While the world rushes headlong into chaos, reacting, arguing, and chasing every fleeting impulse, we remain still. We observe, we analyze, we wait. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If anyone can refute me, I welcome it. But first, I will hear them in silence." This is not passivity, it is mastery. It is the intelligence that knows action without comprehension is destruction masquerading as progress. We notice patterns that others miss. We see the subtle dynamics of power, desire, and influence long before they erupt into obvious consequences. And we understand that words are cheap, emotions are treacherous, and appearances are deceptive, so we hold back. This obsession is quiet, almost invisible to the untrained eye. We do not feel compelled to justify our delay. We do not shout our intentions. We do not explain our thoughts. We simply allow the world to reveal itself layer by layer. In that silence, others grow impatient. They label us indecisive, cold, or arrogant. They do not understand that the intelligence we wield is built on restraint, not impulse. The greatest power lies not in being first, but in being correct. The greatest victory lies not in speed, but in precision. By insisting on understanding first, we protect our minds from unnecessary turmoil. We protect our energy from wasted battles. We protect our integrity from the sway of fleeting opinion, and we protect our destiny from the blind hands of chance. This habit is misunderstood. It looks like hesitation, but it is calculated foresight. It appears lonely, but it is internal alliance. It seems passive, but it is preparation for dominance. Those who act without this discipline are prisoners of their impulses. We, however, are architects of our fate, quiet, vigilant, and untouchable. Understanding before acting is not just a habit, it is a shield, a strategy, and a silent signature of intelligence that few will ever recognize. Yet, everyone will feel the weight of when we move. If you found value in this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us on this path of strength, wisdom, and control. Stay silent, stay sharp, and remember, true power is built in the shadows, not in the noise. Subscribe now and never miss a lesson that strengthens your mind and your life. Get exclusive content and deeper insights. Join our membership today, link in the description. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the Stoic verse for more wisdom to guide your journey.